Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play the Life and Suffering of Sir Brante with me, Alpha Pi Omega, and Rudolf Brante. So I took a break of 2 days, and I mined the salt out of my mouth, and I'm hoping that I'm gonna be a bit better host. It's not that it doesn't irk me anymore, but I just got a bit over it. I'm really looking forward to hearing what your opinions on that event were. Maybe we can still salvage this, I don't think so, but well, let's see. Anyway, Chapter 4, year 1144, Thomas's wedding. This is a day you remember well. It began with a loud, impatient knock at the door. You are surprised to see Thomas paying a visit to your home. There is joy in his face as your old friend shakes your hand. Brante, it's been a while since I saw you last. I just got back to the city. I visited my folks, then ran straight here. Autumn finally stopped hounding me. I sure hope that whole mess is over for good. You invite your friend in, but he gestures for you to wait, a sly smile on his face. I'm in a hurry right now, buddy. So much to do, so little time. I'll explain. I just got back from Sulmina. There was this girl in the village, a shopkeeper named Mire. She gave me shelter and I ended up falling head over heels in love with her. You congratulate your friend and pat him on the shoulder with joy. He laughs happily. My poor ma and pa. All their life they'd hope I marry a noble woman. I used to hope for that too when I was young, but now I know some things matter more than noble titles. Mira's about to be my wife. You offer Thomas words of congratulation, but he suddenly grows serious. Alton's left me alone, but Mira and I will still be better far off away from Ainazut. I wasn't happy serving in the Legion anyway. I thought the nobleman's blood would set me free from suffering and do the same for my descendants, but it just ain't that simple. I was far less free than ever. I'll be better off as a commoner again, earning my living by the sweat of my brow. A farmstead might not be an estate, but the high and mighty won't ever set their sights on me again. I'll live my life in peace, just like I wanted. I've just got one last request for you, though, Rudolf. You've done so much for me, but I'd be honored if you'd be a witness to my wedding vows before the twins. Bear witness, or bid Thomas farewell. Well, bear witness. We died for him, literally. Your hand comes to rest on Thomas's shoulder. It would be an honor and privilege for you to be a witness at your friend's wedding. Thomas glows with joy. Wonderful. You've got no idea how much this means to me, Rudolf. I gotta go to get ready. Several days later, you follow your childhood friend to a smallish temple nestled on the edge of the Brass district. He's wearing a plain white shirt. Needless luxuries are forbidden at the austere wedding ritual. We are both welcomed by the bride, a blonde-haired young woman, innocence and hospitality written across her trusting face. The bride's parents stand further away, two aging villagers eyeing the streets of the big city with suspicion. Thomas. Mire, meet Rudolf Brante, my best friend ever since we were lads. He'll bear witness to our oaths before the twins. The bride greets you with a humble bow. The three of you step inside the temple. You close the door behind you. Tradition demands no one else be allowed to attend the sacred wedding ritual. An amiable aged priest by the name of Ignatius Aventini meets you inside. Thomas and Mira kneels before the altar. Ignatius, an abbot of new faith. O twins, elder and younger, behold these two as they kneel before you. They beseech you to join them in eternal wedlock. The candle flames dance and quiver. You hear a strange murmur in the temple. The darkness beneath the vault of the temple ceiling swirls into two colossal shades. The bride and groom raise their eyes to them, awestruck. Thomas, dost thou swear thy loyalty to this divine union? I do. The bride assents to the same query. Your turn is next. You stand over the kneeling bride and groom and speak their names as the twins watch over you. Thomas Guerrero and Mira of Sulmina. One of the colossal shades leans over them, looming like a towering sword, while the other bursts in a beacon of blinding light that illuminates the temple from within. Thomas and Mira look into each other's eyes in amazement. From this moment forth, they are bound to one another by divine law, and divine love fills their hearts. Ignatius. In your sight of the twins, Thomas, Guerrero, and Mira of Sulmina are now man and wife, as Rudolf Brante bears witness. The stern, solemn ceremony has ended. It is time to celebrate. A humble but happy feast is to be held in the bride's village. As the day gives way to night, you and Thomas leave the revel to enjoy a moment of quiet repose on the front porch. Your old friend looks off into the distance, hopeful. Thomas. Yeah, remember how we fought in that yard over Alva the brothers? Look how much has happened since then. Both of you laugh as you recall the beginning of your friendship. I'll treasure those memories forever, I will. And you can be sure that my firstborn son will be named Rudolf. Thomas chuckles, pondering. You and I, we grew up on the same street, but look how different we turned out. You have a say in other people's fates, Brante. Your name will surely be remembered. But me, I'm still a humble nobody. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I used to be so sure a man could never start over with a clean slate, but I guess I was wrong. I'll never forget you, Rudolf Brante, and I'll never forget everything you've done for me. A tear runs down your friend's cheek. For the last time, Thomas embraces you. Tomorrow he will leave Anizot forever. Will you ever meet again? Nobody knows. +10 willpower. Thomas's new life. Event has happened. You see Thomas off to his new life, far away from danger and chaos. Repentance. The last few months have been marked by a welcome absence of quarreling at the Brante estate. Your only concern these days is the price you have to pay for this peace. Today you come home late, wrung dry after a day of work and worry. Everyone is sound asleep. You are making your way to your bedroom when you hear a suspicious noise coming from Father's study. It is too late for Father to be working. You go to the door of the study, trying to thread softly and turn the knob. The room is brightly lit by the moon. You recognize your brother's clumsy silhouette above Father's desk in the moonlight. Nathan hears you come in and leaps to the side in fear. You see something glinting in his hands, Father's dagger. Nathan. Oh, Rudolf, it's you. Shush. I just took the dagger for a moment. Don't worry. I know holding weapons against my lot. I don't mean anyone any harm. It's for me, actually. I have to go to the twins. Your young brother clumsily turns the dagger around, holding it against his own body. You try to remain still. Nathan wants to take one of his own wives? But why? Nathan. I'm not even sure how to say it, brother. I just can't find a place in this world. I'm always an outsider, always a waste of space. Isn't there some place for me in the twins' design? I can't stop thinking about it. I've been trying to understand them for so long. How am I supposed to live in their world? What's my place in their great plan? But I've only made things worse. I meddled with the Markian sect, defied and rejected my lot, indulged in vice, but I found nothing there. The old faith, the new faith, Father's Mark's heresy. They gave me all sorts of answers, but none of them worked. There's nothing else left for me now. I've got to go see the twins myself and ask them. I know I'm an affront to their plan, just because I'm alive, but I'll repent. I'll pray for their forgiveness. But the twins never forgave you, tell Nathan softly. They never have, and they never will. You will be judged in the hereafter for every false step you take. Your younger brother sighs heavily. I know. Mother taught us all that our lives. But I still have to try. There's no other way. Not one of my lives isn't too big a price if it works. I can't find any use for them anyway. See you soon, brother. Hope I'll be different when I come back. A cloud passes over the moon. Father's study grows dark, illuminated only by the shining light of the distant pillar. Nathan's body contorts awkwardly. He raises the dagger, aiming at his own heart. Do not stop him. Protect your brother. Let's protect him. We don't want him to kill himself. You slowly approach your younger brother. His shaking hands vow to squeeze the hilt of the dagger, but your soulful voice have a soothing effect on him. Nathan has no reason to hurry, you assure him. He will meet the twins when his time comes. Trying to draw the twins' attention is an act of grave insolence, you tell him. The twins are always watching. They know everything they need to know. If they have anything Nathan needs to hear, he will hear it when the time is right. Nathan hesitates, but you know your brother well enough to sway him. He lowers the dagger without protest. You take the sharp steel from your brother's hands and put it back where it belongs. Father will never know of this midnight intrusion into the study. You're right, Rudolf, says Nathan. You're always right. Who am I to compare it to the twins? I can't even get anything out of a regular person. But how am I supposed to live in this silence? You try to advise your brother on this, but he responds. Okay, then there's a D missing there. He responds to your words with brooding muttering. So I'm beneath even the lower lot, it seems. I should just accept it and suffer. But I can't, despite everything Mother taught me. There are no answers out there for me. After that night, Nathan throws all caution to the wind. He spends every day and night in dank taverns surrounded by suspicious characters. His pitiful existence is devoid of all meaning. Your only consolation is that one of your younger brother's lives have been spared. Consumed by despair, relations -1. Well, that's awesome. Everything is going wrong for us, isn't it? Year 1145, a storm on the horizon. For over a year now, Anisot has been steadily simmering with unrest, like a soup pot over a well-stoked flame. Commoners flock to the squares in droves. The mobs grow bolder, demanding new freedoms and protection under the law. The last straw insurgents commit brazen acts, hoping to overthrow the authorities. The noble gentry insisted that every mob be dispersed by force. They are ready to fight for their ancient privileges, sword in hand. In spite of this enormous pressure, Overseer Gareth Tempest remains highly reluctant to allow any bloodshed. But the common people are already too desperate. Even the age-old fear of the nobility's might is barely enough to keep them in check. More and more people are rejecting the laws and converting to the new faith, not to mention other, stranger, more esoteric teachings and beliefs. New secret societies and clandestine gatherings appear every day. Printed pamphlets litter the streets. Yet no one is rushing to subdue the citizens or punish the city. For now. Father Leonard has transformed the Temple of the Silver Tree into a new believer stronghold. He is no longer afraid to break the ban on preaching the new faith. His sermons now openly challenge the old faith. Father Leonard. It seems the Church of the Twins is unable to recognize its great mistake. The lots must be abandoned as relics of the past. The twins granted everyone the freedom to choose their own path in this world, and I will not stop until this freedom is recognized throughout the Empire. The next patriarch of Magro must be chosen by the parish, not the clergy. This is the will of the twins, and it must be ours as well. Leonard intends to amend the old order of the church and become patriarch. His opponents, however, are beset by internal struggle and strife. The Inquisition is fighting a myriad of heresies, more of which appear every day. Not even the highest ranks of the faith are free from suspicion. The new faith, meanwhile, is steadily growing in numbers. People no longer fear being damned to the foot of the pillar for rejecting the divine design. The streets are restless and dangerous. Minds and souls are beset by confusion. The authorities argue and bicker among themselves. Conspiracies plague the city. Time marches on and the change is coming. It cannot be stopped. Can you find a way to guide it in the right direction? The weight of the new age now rests upon your shoulders, not soldier. Shoulders. Okay, schism. A family matter. For over a year now, Anderson has been slowly simmering with unrest. The feud between the estates, between the old faith and the new, between the law, the empire, and noble traditions, tensions are at an all-time high, waiting for the slightest spark to catch fire and burn. Even your family's affairs have been affected by the growing unrest. It is during these troubled times that the future of your family will be decided. Father shakes you awake early in the morning. He is excited, clutching a letter bearing the imperial seal of the Tempest dynasty. This is gonna be a disaster. Wake up, son. Come to the sitting room. A letter has come from Overseer Gaius Tempest. He gingerly breaks the seal and unfolds the missive. Gaius Tempest. To the Honorable Brante family, I, Gaius Tempest, Gaius of the Tempest dynasty, Overseer of the province of Magra, has given due consideration to your petition to have your bloodline ennobled by the sword. You are expected in 1 week at Castle Enery, as are all petitioners for the sword, where you shall hear my decision first hand. After finishing the letter, Father turns to you. He looks fatigued. Well, son, it is time for us to be honest with each other about our family. What do we have to say about this? Where do we, the Brantes, stand after so many years? What hopes do we have for the future of this family? The past 7 years have been marked by many life-changing events. The rare joys, the frequent fights, the arguments, the attempts at peace, the losses. Sometimes you have managed to change their minds, and sometimes you have not. But your decisions have made you realize what matters most to you. The future of the Brante family must be decided here and now. Well, become nobles of the sword, not the family in ruins, not branded by dishonor. Become members of the Overseer's entourage. Oh wow. Okay, a family of means a glorious bloodline. Sever off ties with the family. Unity below 2. Or preserve the family. Unity above 3. All hope of being ennobled by the sword is lost, but the Brante family will remain united. Well. Disaster. You're reluctant to confess to Father that both of you already know. Okay, let me try that again. You reluctantly confess to Father what both of you already know. It is clear that Gaius Tempest's decision will be. Your family's hopes of being ennobled by the sword are long gone. You had to maintain your family's reputation and fortune, and peace at home. It all proved too much to handle. After expending too much energy resolving the strife within your family, you had little strength left for the rest. With a sigh, Father agrees. You're right, my son. We couldn't weather the storm that came upon us. Who could even hope for a hereditary title after that? I can only imagine how your grandfather must be raging in the hereafter. The Brante patriarch uneasily considers what comes next. But our family is still together, still whole. It pains me to think that there were so many losses that could have been prevented. I must confess, at one point I even feared there might be nothing of us left, but we are still a family. Very well, we will abandon the pursuit of the nobility of the sword for our descendants and tend to the Brante family itself. Nathan peeks into the sitting room. His hair is tousled. Nathan, Father? Rudolf? What happened? Nothing, Nathan, says Robert. Life goes on. That's all. Your very father embraces his 2 sons. The last of the embers that were once the letter from Gaius Tempest smolder away in the fireplace. Relations with Gregor Brante -2. It was almost too much to bear, but your family ties have been preserved. The Brante family will live on. Cool. Willpower. Well, if that would have served us best in the courtroom. Final preparations. The carriage takes you further down the city's narrow streets. They are filled with noble carriages and commoners hurrying about their business, but the driver skillfully avoids them all. You watch the city uneasily from behind the carriage doors. The past few months have been so tense and challenging. They felt like a single unbearable moment. You had to face One ordeal after another, and Otten's case sometimes fell by the wayside. But you have no doubt that the outcome of this case will determine your fate. Your previous encounters with the haughty commander have assured you of that. The time to strike Otten down is coming soon. Right now, you need to make your final decision, your final preparation. Your gut tells you that the time is running out. Either you seize the initiative or Otten will destroy you himself. But what should you focus on at this critical juncture? You compose your options. Address the people with a speech. Or start a rumor against among the aristocracy, or bide your time. Let's address the people with a speech. Let's hope that justice will get a bonus from that. I'm not sure. There's no turning back now. It is time to show the arrogant Arcanian that you no longer fear his wrath. The common people will support you. You tell the driver to take you to Gold Square. The square in front of the chancellery is as crowded as ever, teeming with people of all estates and ranks. Once in the square, you ascend a raised platform and address the crowd as loudly as you can. At first the people pay you no heed and merely hurry along, but as your speech continues, every pair of eyes soon turn to you. Excited voices fill the square. Who's that? It's Judge Brante. You begin your accusatory speech. The people of Anisod have a right to know about Dorius Otten's crimes. His duty as military commander is to preserve peace in the province, but he behaves like a lawless villain, murdering his own soldiers left and right. His duty as a highborn noble is to rule over his subjects wisely, but instead he brings dishonor to all of Magra. The mob responds with murmurs, confused at first. Is this an act of defiance by a common judge? Is a human really speaking out against one of the most powerful Arcanians in the province? Many flee the square in terror as soon as they realize what you are saying, hoping to stay out of harm's way. But you also catch a few awkward shouts of support from among the din. Down with the tyrant, we won't stand for it. You latch onto those words. Yes, down with Otten. You will put an end to his crimes. But you cannot do it all by yourself. If the citizens of Anisod want justice, if they want to defend their rights, they have to be brave and stand their ground against the lawless commander when the time comes. Any citizen of Anisod who is fed up with noble tyranny must rally to your cause. Ecstatic shouts fill the square. The people deserve rights. Down with Otten. We're with you, Judge. +1 justice. Awesome. You descend the platform triumphant. Many voices of support follow you out of the square. When the time comes to clash with Otten, the people will support you. But do the common folk have what it takes to openly defy the age-old rule of the Arcanian? Okay, -10 willpower, but +1 justice. I guess that might be enough for us. Well, we'll see. Anyway, that's all for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one, which is, gonna be coming soon. So, see you there.